going to build up higher. Higher and higher. Stop moving forward. Don't waste it. Don't waste it. We're going to do it properly now. Properly right. So we're going to bring our first act on. You're going to love this guy. He's a superb comedian. So, Matt, start us off, pal. Slow clap it up. He's got this, isn't he? He's got this. Let's go up higher.
You could keep clapping to that. Thank you.
Oh.
All right, let me, okay. Quite possibly the best looking audience I've seen tonight, in all honesty. A lot of acts, like, they'll come out and go, oh, it's really nice to be here. I've stopped doing that, to be honest, because a couple of things. I mean, first of all, at this moment in time, I don't know. It probably will be, but on the other hand, it might not be. The second reason is quite often, I don't fucking mean it. And the third reason is because I did a gig earlier in the year. Right, it was a little village near Cirencester. And I just went on, I said, oh hi, my name's Nick Hill, I'm from Gloucester. It's lovely to be here in Ashton Keynes. And before I could go on, this woman stood up and said, oh, excuse me, we can make some allowances as you're from Gloucester, because you probably don't realise. I know it's spelled Keynes, K-E-Y-N-E-S. But in the village, we prefer to pronounce it Keynes. I hope you don't take offence. So no, that's absolutely fine. I've got to be honest, it does make you sound like a bit of a pretentious cunt. That's spelled C-A-N-T, but I prefer to pronounce it, and you could be as offended as you fucking want, to be honest. And I do get that, you know, say, because all you know where Gloucester is. So you travel around and you say, I'm from Gloucester, and straight away you get the stupid heckles. You go, oh, Fred West. Yeah, really original. Or you'll get, oh, sheep shaggers. Right? And to me, that's just someone who's failed their geography O-level, because we're 19 miles from the Welsh border. We are not sheep shaggers. We don't need to be sheep shaggers when we've got full access to our whole cousins. I mean, that's just... And I'm born and bred in Gloucester, and I'm proud to be from our city, because it's not the best, you know that, but over the years it's getting better. You know, the Docks has been used for some fantastic films. We have the Cathedral used, obviously, for Harry Potter, but we cannot compete with the Forest of Dean being used, Puzzlewood being used for that style. I mean, what a coup for the Forest that was. And if anyone's unaware of what the demographic in the Forest is like, just cast your mind back to that first Star Wars film, where Luke Skywalker walks into that cantina bar, and it's full of people with like 2 heads, 8 fingers on one hand. You can go into any pub in the Forest of Dean on a weekend night. That's the demographic you're going to find. 2 of my favourite stories from the Forest of Dean, a couple of years ago, down at Lower Ledbury, the Forestry Commission were concerned because the River Wye was flooding, and they put a post out to say, like, we've identified the flooding and what we're going to do. I mean, they didn't speak in an accent in the post, obviously, because it was on Facebook or whatever, but what we're going to do, we're going to reintroduce beavers, and they're going to gnaw trees down, and they'll make dams, and that will stop the flooding. And somebody said, but you do realise beavers are a very voracious creature. They could cause chaos in the forest. Yeah, we thought that. We're going to build wooden fences to keep them in. But my favourite story from the forest was a few years back. A man from Cinderford was caught having sexual intercourse with a wild boar whilst under the influence of alcohol. And it got me thinking, how much alcohol would a wild boar need to have sex with a man from Cinderford? But the other thing, of course, we are famous for is the cheese rolling. Are we all aware of the cheese rolling? Well, I've lived in Gloucester all my life. I've never done it. I'm 67 next year, and I thought I've got to do it before I die. So I have been practicing. I'm in training. Been rolling a baby bell down my drive, that's very well. And the cheese rolling was banned, and then it was reintroduced. You know, for health and safety reasons, it was reintroduced. And when it came back, BBC Southwest were there to film the event. And one of the winners of one of the races was a 15-year-old girl from Brockworth called Kylie. And they interviewed her and they said, Kylie, you've entered the race and you've won. What would you like to say? She said, well, I did enter the race and I have won, and I'm very surprised. And they said, why are you surprised? And I thought, oh, Kylie, just this is your moment. Say something profound. Say something that's going to make people proud of you. Say something to put Gloucester on the map. Say something like, well, I left school when I was 13. Everyone wrote me off. Teachers, friends, family. They all said I'd never come to nothing. And I thought, now is my time to shine. And I thought, if I train really hard, I could do this. And the training was difficult. I had to arrange babysitters for my 8 kids, but I managed it. And I got to the top of that hill, and I looked down, and I was just so focused, and I let the cheese down. And I thought, you can do this, Kylie. And I chased it, and I bounced. I nearly broke my neck, but I won. And I was just so proud of myself, because it, you know, it just showed me what I really, that's what I would have liked her to have said. What came out to the conversation, to the question, why were you surprised, was simply this. I don't even like cheese. You can't make it up, can you? It's been a shit few years, hasn't it? We've gone through so much. You know, the whole Brexit scenario. We've been through COVID. We've got the terrible situation in Ukraine and Lebanon. And I think, what's left of humanity now? And the only thing I think, and it's not even something to look forward to, but I think it's going to happen at one point, is alien invasion. And I did a gig in Swindon last week, and that stopped to ask directions. I've got to be honest, I think they're already amongst us. Just based on that. I don't normally do anything political related, but I did vote in Brexit. I voted Remain. Okay, not out of any strong political leanings, not out of any moral conscience. Just simply the fact that there is absolutely no way in this world, I want to go back to wash my own car on the weekend. That's a reference to the Polish using the car washes. Have you got car washes in Ledbury? Fucking obviously not. Just tractors, isn't it? That's all it is in Ledbury. I voted in the recent election as well, and when I, I'm not going to tell you what I voted for, but when I saw the Tories manifesto about bringing back national service, I thought, that's just political suicide. National service for 18-year-olds. They have just alienated 788,000 eligible 18-year-olds that could vote in the UK. Because they're not going to vote Tory for that. And I thought, hang on a minute, they're playing a bit of a blinder here, because they don't care if they lose 788,000. It's the other 3.4 million that voted in the last election. They're the ones they want. Whether they voted Tory or not, they are just targeting everybody. And I know there's some young people in here tonight, but I think everyone, they were just hoping that everyone would vote Tory for no other reason than to wipe the smug smiles off those 18-year-old faces. And even, that joke normally goes down far better. I can work out your political leanings here. But even if the Tories had got in, that was never going to happen, was it? Even if they'd have got in and brought that policy in, all 18-year-olds, you're going into national service whether you like it or not, because we have created a scenario where people can get off absolutely scot-free. You can imagine that. Tarquin, he's got his call-up papers, he's down the army recruitment office on his first day. Tarquin, you're going in the army whether you like it or not. All he has to do is simply say, I'm really sorry, I don't identify as a soldier, and that's it. Fucking gave them, brilliant. They gave them some other choices. If they didn't want to go in the army, they could volunteer for 1 weekend a month, either in the police or the NHS. Can you? I mean, you haven't got any rough areas in Ledbury, but in Gloucester, can you imagine that? The local drug dealer off the council estate in charge of a fucking police sniffer dog, working in the pharmacy at the hospital. He'd have think he'd have died and gone to heaven. So I'll just tell you this little bit before I leave. I retired last year, so I've just been spending 24/7 with my wife over the past 12 years. 12 months, sorry. It feels like 12 years. And we've just got to that stage, that irritating stuff. I mean, It's nothing major. Breathing and if we're out in the car and we come up to a T-junction and I want to turn right, I'll say, is it okay to go? And she goes, yeah. And as I'm pulling out, as long as you're quick. Well, she hasn't worked out that, you know, she's the one that's going to get smashed. But it has been a voyage of discovery. I've discovered things about her I didn't know. She's got an absolute talent for musical theatre. So I've discovered she can make a song and dance about absolutely anything. And for my birthday, this is how much things have changed. Like for my birthday this year, we went to the local garden centre. We've been going there so much over the past 12 months. I've got a loyalty card. and as I went to get a coffee, I gave her the loyalty card. She went, oh, it's your lucky day. Is it? What's that then? She said, well, I can see by this it's your birthday. Yeah, thanks. She said, well, you now qualify, right, for one of our senior citizens discount. Oh, fuck off. I took the card off her. I said, what is the benefit of me having one of these? She said, well, you get 40% off a roast lunch. And looking at you, you like a roast. I took the card, went and sat back down, and I said, what have you got there? I said, it's senior citizen discount cards. What are the benefits? So we get 40% off a roast lunch. I said, yeah, have a look at the terms. I had a look at it. Yeah, 40% off a roast lunch. Served every Monday between the hours of 9:30 and 11:15 a.m. And I thought, who the fuck eats a roast lunch on a Monday between 9:30 and 11:15 a.m? The last 8 Mondays. Listen, it's been a very short 10-minute little set, but you've been an absolute delight. So it has been nice to be here in Ledbury tonight. Please keep supporting this gig. It's a cracking venue, and you lot are lovely, and you've got a really nice lined up. Thank you very much. Good night.